session.
You've got one video.
So first I want to thank you all so much for coming to spend your Sunday afternoon with us. We're deeply honoured that you've taken the time for the birth of the book, because that's what it is, it's the birth of a book. And I want to thank Letitia from the bottom of my heart for her warm, sensitive support through these years. They're very firm, pushing us on at times. Very firm. And
don't forget the whip.
The whip, which she's hidden away today. Yeah, but she was always behind us, always believing in the power of the word. Letitia has this book creator circle, and her mission is to get books out into the world, to get the written word out into the world. And she felt it was very important to validate Killian by getting his words out here, which we always intended to do. Where's Francis? Hiding over there. I want to thank Francis as well for being a magician and just producing the book like da-da-da-da all of a sudden. And Rebecca for your warm support and kindness to us. And Katya, who's our graphic designer, who will be here later on, hopefully. Katya just knew what we wanted. We got in a bit of a mess with the cover at the last moment, but Letitia thought we should use some of Killian's artwork, which we did at the very last moment. Katya knew exactly how to do it. She knew what we were thinking. She knew what I was thinking in my mind before I knew what I was thinking in my mind, and produced this very, very cool cover, which we are thrilled about. Look at that. That's Killian's artwork. And the name of the book is But the World Keeps Rocking, even though the Manly Daily got it wrong yesterday. The title of the book, but that's just the Manly Daily. It's called The World Keeps Rocking. I'd also like to thank Kieran. This is going to show. I'm glad he's sitting down.
Have a big drink.
Amazing in those early months of bereavement. You can imagine how tough that was. Kieran stoically plodded through boxes of poetry, typed out as much as he could, sometimes correct. And
only during the lunch break.
And was stoic and brave as always. He's been my support. He's there all the time. He never wavers. He was strong, supportive and sensitive. And Kieran threw his soul into those early months. Of course, I did the actual cutting myself. I can't give him the credit for that. This is a bit like a Bob Dylan video, isn't it? Do you remember the early Bob Dylan, anybody, when he had something?
Some of them aren't old.
Oh, I guess I'm the oldest person. Yeah. And I just want to tell you about the feeling about the birth of the book. We went over to Francis last Saturday expecting to deal with the type of font of typing we wanted, the cover details, that kind of thing. And while we were sitting there waiting for Francis to come to us, he brought this over to us and put one of these copies on our laps. And I thought, oh, priceless, or something like that. Open the book, and there were the printed words of my son. And I can't tell you how emotional that was. It was like, there you are, Killian. That's him. And he's going to live forever now, immortalized with the words. One of the copies of the book will go to the State Library here, and one of them will go to a college in Cambridge. One of them will go to Trinity College in Dublin. So when Kieran and I are gone, Kieran up and me down there, then Killian will be with us still, with the world. Not many of you actually knew Killian yet, obviously. Vicky would remember, yeah, as a little boy.
That's right.
Little boy. Vicky was in the year above him at the German school in Dublin.
That's right.
And Killian was always a bit mischievous and in trouble. And Jet remembers him from more recent years, and of course Jeanette knew and loved him too, as he loved her. Killian, to describe Killian in one word, I think I would say charismatic. His latest girlfriend Amber said that when Killian walked into a room, he knew he was there. There was no mistaking the fact that he was there. He was funny. He had a great sense of humour. He was probably one of the best impersonators I've ever seen. He could impersonate any of you just like that. He couldn't do me. The only way he could do me was to stumble about a bit, trip over a few chairs. That was me. But he could do everybody else. He was really, really funny. He did George Bush particularly well, and Barbara Bush, with the accents, and you'd break a rib laughing to him. But with that side, there was another side to him, obviously. He was an extremely deep thinker. Too deep, as many poets are, And he went very near the abyss in his deep thinking, and of course he didn't come back. And I think truly great poetry comes from that depth of feeling and the examination of the mystery of life and what it's all about, and it was just too much for him. But because of that, we've got his fantastic searing poetry left with us. I'm just going to read you after this drink. I'm just going to read, this is very much, I think. I'm just going to read you a short little poem of his that he composed when we were walking on Whale Beach one evening in the sunset. Just a little four-liner. And it's just to give you an idea of the beauty of his words, the simplicity of his words. And it's called The Beach. And it goes, "My love is as vast as the ocean, as solid as a rock, as old as the sand, as thoughtful as the sunset." And we walked up and down the beach and he made me memorise it. So the words just poured out of Killian, and the songs, of course, his words don't know, the music just poured out of him. Extremely talented, near genius level, in our opinion. And just a fantastic poet. And we are extremely lucky to have this book and the poetry in it. And hey, maybe this is just the first volume. Maybe we can go on and do more. Yeah. And yes, it's our memorial to Killian. It's going to be in the world forever. And it's a gem of a book. And I'm very, very proud. It's not for the faint-hearted. It's not for it's not Lapadure or Fluffy Clouds. It's about tortured souls struggling for the meaning of life and existence, struggling with his problem with drugs, and his tendency to self-destruct. It's all that. And what can I say? Fun. Yeah, some of it's fun. There's one very fun one I couldn't possibly read out because it's children's present. It's about two snakes swimming. And with that, I will pass you over to Kieran.
Thanks, Letitia, for such a warm welcome, and Tina for following up that. I'm not going to say a great deal. Coming after two ladies, how could I get away with it anyway? But today is a real milestone for us. It took longer than the gestation period of Nelson. It took us 8 years to get to this stage. I know we went over to Spain last year. We brought a lot of his work with us, and we intended to put it all together there. But for whatever reason, we didn't get a word done. But last Christmas, we went up to Cairns, and when I came back to work after Christmas, I think Letitia must have taken Tina as a hostage and locked her in a room with a computer. Because about a week later, I got this email with all the poetry put together. There were 61 poems there.
It was the big
That Tina wouldn't turn on the computer. So I'm not sure what you did, but it worked. I mean, some of you go back a long way, and I'm so delighted Vicky is here. She grew up with Killian in Dublin, went to the same school, was about a year ahead of him, and has been living in Manchester up to this year and just moved to Sydney. Vicky's parents came to Brisbane about a month after us. We were good friends. Vicky's dad died 8 weeks after Killian. It's great to have Jet here as well, who sang with Killian and recorded with him, and that's a privilege. But she wants to do some more songs as well, so we're delighted to see you again, Jet. And to everyone else who's come here, it's been really great. Both Tina and Letitia, I think, have thanked everybody, Francis and Rebecca and so on, and Letitia again. So shortly we're going to have some nibblies and that, so I'd like you to get a glass together and have a drink to Killian. And thank you all so much for coming.
Not everyone has a glass.
So we'll have to organise a glass. Thank you so much. That ends the formality. Thank you.
Thank you.